Good evening, everybody. Eric White from Vintiques of Maine here. How you all doing? It's been a while since I've made an episode of 3 figures to 6 figures, but today I want to talk about some things a little bit. Just want to remind everybody on this video series, it's for starting out and building that business from having little capital to being a very self-sustaining business that pays the bills and allows you to do what you love to do. So, starting out, we're already low on capital. We're buying smaller items to make money on. Episode 5 gives some ideas. I'm going to make another episode right after this. Episode 7 will be more basic, smaller items to buy to make money on. But we're, buying our items at thrift stores, garage sales, flea markets, auctions, stuff like that. And by now we should have all made our flyer. Yeah, I had one around here somewhere. Oh. It's right behind me. That to hand out, post up on bulletin boards and all that stuff. So you can buy stuff privately because that's pretty important. It's really where you're going to get the best deals because there's no competition at those places. So moving onward, we're new. We've made a couple of sales. Now what do we do? Well, first thing I want you to do after you make a sale, I want you to email your customer and thank them very much for their purchase. It's going to go a long ways when you're starting out your business to do stuff like that. After you email the customer, pack the item. Get it packed securely. And what I mean by securely is, let's say we're packing this nice little cast iron rabbit bank here. Okay? We're going to put 2 to 3 inches of padding around the outside of it so that it will not move inside of our box. What do we use for padding? Well, whatever we have available at this point. Foam, peanuts, bubble wrap, whatever the case may be, but we want 2 to 3 inches around the outside of it so it does not get broken in the mail. That's packing securely. And the best way to tell if you're packed securely, in addition to having the 2 to 3 inches of padding around the outside of the item on all sides of it, is to take your box and just shake it. And if you hear it moving or hear your packaging moving, it is not packed securely, and chances are you may have a damaged item when it arrives. And you really do not want that. Because we're trying to build a business here, not crush it. So you want to make sure you're packing securely. Next thing, ship it quickly. Try to ship it the same day if you can. That shows you're really on the ball and really into the customer and their needs and their wants. If you can't ship it the same day, make sure it goes out the next day, within 24 hours, please. That's all I can say on that. After, provide your customer tracking number also. After you know the item has been received by the customer, and you know that by following the tracking number online, email your customer, message them through the eBay message system, however you got to do it, and just make sure they got the item and that everything was okay with the item. Now, 2 things to this. This may end up in a problem, but it gives you a chance to solve the problem, which shows excellent customer service, which more likely will lead to positive feedback. So if there's a problem, solve it. We talked about the term acceptable business losses before. This may be a time where you have to exercise that term and remember that saying. But make sure the customer is happy. Once you're sure the customer is happy, ask them for feedback. Request positive feedback. A lot of times buyers don't realize how important leaving that positive feedback is for you. So if you ask them and say, hey, once you leave me positive feedback for this purchase, I'll leave you positive feedback. Most of the time they give you positive feedback at that point. Some of them just don't even care if they get feedback or not, so they're not going to leave it. Some people can't be bothered. There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, I'm currently running about 20% of my customers leave me feedback, but I don't do the emails back and forth anymore. It gets very difficult to do that when you're doing 1,000+ transactions a month. After you ask for positive feedback, make sure you leave them feedback if you have not left them feedback already, please. Alright, don't be that guy or girl that doesn't leave the feedback after I leave you feedback. those are the most important things after your eBay sale, and that's how you're going to grow your business, because you need to have the feedback to have customers think positively of you, and you want them to think positively of you. For instance, if we're both selling that same rabbit and we're both roughly the same price, 95% of the time they're going to buy from me at almost 7,000 feedback versus from you, having 10 or 12 feedback. And that's just the way it is. It shouldn't be that way because of eBay's money back guarantee, but that's just the way it is, unfortunately. I know when I go on eBay and buy, I don't buy from somebody that doesn't have under 100 positive feedback. I just don't do it because I don't want the trouble. Time is my most valuable thing to me in my life right now, and time is the stuff I cannot get back. So I'm not buying off anybody that has under 100 feedback because I don't want to deal with issues. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry for it. But there's a lot of people like me out there who just won't buy that way. So make sure you're requesting the positive feedback and leaving the positive feedback. I've had some people mention that they went and bought a bunch of stuff on eBay to get positive feedback. That's all well and good. If somebody just looks at your positive feedback number, that's fine. But however, if they get in there and start reading your feedbacks and they see that they're all from you buying stuff, they may not buy from you still, because you're a great buyer, but you could be a crappy seller and they don't know it because you don't have any selling feedback. So I would recommend keeping your buying account and your selling account very separate. Anyways, episode 7 will be coming up very soon. It's going to be more basic stuff to buy and sell. I'm going to show you real life examples of stuff that I bought for pennies on the dollar and sold for great margin. I'm not talking huge dollars, but I'm talking stuff that I paid 25 cents for, got it $5 for, stuff I paid $1 for, got $10 for, stuff I paid $1 for, got $5 for, and stuff like that. So there's me a bunch of it. I got about 20 items queued up to go on that. I just don't like to run videos too long, so I'm going to shut up. I'm going to say goodbye on this video. Remember to leave me comments, questions, anything like that down below in the comment section. Or get me on Facebook, Vintiques of Maine, or you can text me at 207-739-0559 with any questions that you may have. Fantastic. I'll see you on the next episode.